What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a spoiler-free review of a physical media release that just came out on Blu-ray from Synapse. It's Satan's Little Helper. That's right. Little kid teams up with a serial killer on Halloween. Let's check it out. So yeah, Satan's Little Helper just came out on Synapse. You can pick it up today. As a matter of fact, I'll put a link down below for you guys. MVD Entertainment Group sent me out one of these to review and talk about, and I just got done watching it. It was a great re-watch. I've seen this before. This movie came out back in 2004, and it's written and directed by Jeff Lieberman, who you may know from doing movies like Squirm, Blue Sunshine, Just Before Dawn, little films like that. So he came up with this movie out in 2004 about a little boy who is tricked by a serial killer who's dressed up on Halloween night as a demon, as a devil, as Satan himself, and the kid believes that it's his video game character that he is really into at the time, and he kind of follows this guy around as he starts murdering everybody on Halloween night. Little does the little kid know that he's actually just a killer with a mask on, and where it goes is pretty fucking wild. Now, again, I've seen this before. Watching it again was a nice rewatch. I really enjoyed rewatching this movie. It's a lot of fun. It is kind of part comedy, part, not so serious, but also kind of like the way it's shot is in a way that is done in a super independent way. But the story is really engaging because of this entire situation. It's just kind of unnerving. The way I heard about it, and they talk about this in the extras, by the way, Jeff Lieberman had a birthday party and a gorilla suit man came to the party, which he thought was his friend. Danced with him, he sang with him, and little did he know, he didn't know who this guy was when he saw his buddy he thought was in the costume across the room from him. And that made him think, ooh, that's kind of creepy. So he thought, what if I had a little kid who is really into Satan and thinks that Satan's this cool guy because he's just a little kid and tries to befriend him to be Satan's little helper as he's killing everybody in the neighborhood. That's Satan's Little Helper. Now, Synapse has put out a lot of really wonderful releases over the years. I've always picked up a lot of their releases. I really enjoy their extras and things that they put in there. One of my favorites that they did was like Street Trash. They had like a 2.5-hour documentary for that movie alone. But this release just came out. You can, like I said, you can pick it up now. It has the disc in here. You get the Synapse Films catalog for 2023, the reversible cover, because you have the new one here, which I actually really like, and you have the original, which you may remember seeing. Now, the strange thing about this movie is when it came out, it really wasn't that popular. It had a few fans, that were watching it, and I was one of them. I actually watched it as soon as it came out, and I had asked people about it. It took some time. Some people started watching it over the years and just were like, hey, this was actually not that bad of a film. It's kind of got the tone, what I would call, and say it's similar to, if you've ever seen the Jack Frost Killer Snowman movie, and we're not talking about the Michael Keaton Batman one. I'm talking about the Snowman Jack Frost Killer one. It's kind of got that sort of familiarity and acting style in it. Now, in this release, we get a lot of extras and features and stuff that I think you'll really enjoy. I watched most of them. I didn't do the commentary, but you do get audio commentary from writer Jeff Lieberman. You get a vintage behind the scenes featurette that I watched that was really cool, and he kind of shows you how they did certain scenes. The Devil in the Details, which is a making of Satan's Little Helper, which is made today or recently. We also have Mr. Satan's Neighborhood, which is a tour of some of the filming locations with director and writer Jeff Lieberman, who brings his mask with him, and he's an entertaining guy, so that was fun. Plus, you get a promotional trailer for it, and it's all packed into this one little quirky, unique film. Now, this isn't a movie that a lot of people are going to go, oh, this is like your mainstream film or anything. No, this is a very independent level shot kind of movie, but it's really the story and kind of how weird and unsettling it is that this story exists and what is going on in the movie that really is kind of the unique thing about it, because, you know, these are people wearing masks and such, and it's, you know, you can only get so much out of that kind of thing. Like a movie that kind of tricks you with that is Haunt, where they wear these like really standard kind of simple masks, but they build this sort of suspense. Now, this leans a little bit more in the tongue-in-cheek sort of and semi-suspenseful type movies, but it's done in such a fun way because it's through the eyes of this kid who thinks that Satan's his friend and is a real guy, and he's just kind of going on this misadventures with him, and he doesn't really think that he's actually killing anybody. So it kind of adds to some of the suspense, but because it's such a tongue-in-cheek kind of silly fun film, it is definitely a little bit more on the light side of scares, so to speak. But it's highly enjoyable, and where this film goes by the end of the movie is actually pretty fucking disturbing, because there is a change that happens. I'm not going to spoil that for you. This is completely spoiler free, but where it goes, I've never seen in another movie since, and it is kind of, I don't like it at all. Let me just tell you. But yeah, there's some tricks to be had in this film, so it'll be surprising, and there's some pretty cool fun shots and some silly fun things that are in this movie that'll make you laugh. It isn't exactly the most gory film in the world, but there is blood in it, and there is a couple of gore moments in the film. It's more just about the elephant in the room sort of thing that's kind of using it to generate the comedy in some weird kind of hybrid way that Jeff Lieberman would tell you is probably the closest thing to his personality than any of the other movies he's ever done, because he was completely uncensored when he made this film, and he wanted to make something as silly and weird as this, as he's silly and weird. Interviews and things that he does about this movie are really charming. I really enjoyed rewatching this film. It really goes to show you that if you have a good idea, you can make a good film. It doesn't have to be a big budget, best acting film in the world in order to entertain people and to keep their attention. This movie proves that you can do that with a really fun idea and keep people in their seats and make them cult fans of a movie. I personally would give this movie like a 7.5. It's one that I'll keep coming back to because of its cult status in a way. Not because it's popular and it's cult, but because it is cult and it is doing something different than you would see from sort of the mainstream. But if you haven't seen it, highly recommend picking it up. Synapse has it on sale now. I'll put a link down to the MVD Entertainment Group. If you've already seen this film, you're probably already at the website right now picking it up because you're a fan of it like me. So highly recommend this one. I am really thankful. Thank you so much for sending this out, MVD. Really appreciate it. Synapse, great job on this. I really enjoyed this one. I have another one from Synapse that's coming out too, so be on the lookout for that. But yes, thank you guys so much for stopping by and supporting this channel. I really appreciate it. I try to mix it up with doing some sort of physical and new releases and just a little bit of everything. Sometimes interviews with directors and such. If you have some ideas that you would like to see me do, I'm always open to them. Are you a fan of Satan's Little Helper? Did you see it when it came out and have been a fan since the beginning? I'd love to hear from you in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. But other than that, thank you so much for coming by. And as always, long live the void.